Yes, everybody, us on the West Ham Network. Hope you are all safe and well, my friends. Had a nice weekend. We've had worse weeks, haven't we? We've had worse weeks. As weeks have gone, last week weren't too bad. They weren't too shabby. And hopefully you're still on cloud nine like the rest of us are. It's Hammers Headlines in association with the KUMB.com boys. For any of our new subscribers, every day, Monday to Friday, we bring you sort of free sort of snippets of information, 3 stories in association with the KUMB.com boys. Check them out. We had Graham and Holly doing a little interview, a little chat from the old square at Prague on Friday. Check it out. As well as all the other celebratory videos and shorts we've put out in the last sort of couple of days, just to keep that good vibes. Times they've been so good, so good, so good, as Neil Diamond would say. But some stories. Let's crack on. Let's crack on with a title story. And apparently, according to my favourite Italian news outlet, Tuttomercato Web, West Ham are looking at Juventus chief scout Matteo Tognosi as our next director of football. We know that we've been on the search for a director of football coming in to oversee transfers. There was disappointment with how well the new transfers from the summer integrated, and obviously a relatively poor Premier League season compared to other couple of seasons beforehand. Obviously, winning our first trophy since 1980, our first European trophy since the mid-60s, does sort of somewhat curtail that. But in the league, wasn't great. And it took to the last couple of games before we sort of guaranteed our Premier League survival. We don't want that again. So they're looking to bring in a director of football to oversee all football operations in terms of particularly recruitment. So the likes of Thiago Pinto from Roma, Lee Dykes from Brentford, Paul Mitchell from Monaco. He was believed to be the favourite, but according to Italian journalist Marco Contario, he reports that Tognosi is the man that West Ham wants to step into the role for this summer and beyond. He's best known for bringing young elite talents to arguably one of the biggest clubs in the world, Juventus. So if West Ham could tempt him away from Italy and bring him to East London, that could be somewhat of a coup. Me personally, he's not a director of football already. He's a chief scout. So the role of a chief scout is very different from the role of director of football. So I would want someone who come in personally and hit the ground running and know the job, know what to do, and from day one, crack on. I think if you've got someone like Matteo in, not saying he wouldn't be great for the job, but there's still that sort of learning period. I know you've got to learn the role and the club and the dynamic of the club, but knowing that and also then having to learn how to be director of football doesn't seem to be the right answer for me, to be honest. I would probably prefer someone like Paul Mitchell from Monaco, a proven director of football, to come in and do the job, or Martin from Liverpool, or any of the ones we've mentioned. But I think Tognosi might be. I think he would need some miles under his belt in the director football role before coming to the club, because don't want the same situation that we've got now currently. But who knows? Knowing West Ham, it could well be, and they could see it as a coup. Juventus, massive club. He's brought through some very, very good players. But obviously, the pool of Juventus is different than the pool of West Ham. So naturally, you can probably get the best players, the best young players in the world, to play for Juventus because it's Juventus. The name is synonymous, isn't it? So look, we'll see. But it's been reported by Tutto Mercato, my favourite Italian news line, so I thought I'd just give you that information. Sticking with Italy, let's talk about the forgotten man, Nicola Vlasic. Does he get a medal? Did he play in the early stages? I don't know if he did. I can't remember. Anyway, obviously he has been on loan with Torino, and they're continuing their efforts to sign him permanently after failing with 2 offers so far. That's according to Tutto Sports, who state that the Torino director of football, David Vagnati, is the prime mover in terms of making Vlasic's move from West Ham to Torino a permanent one and switching it from a temporary one, of course. The Italian media outlet revealed that the option to buy Vlasic in terms of exclusive option after his current deal actually expired at midnight on Saturday. That price was believed to be around 13 million euros, about 11 million quid, but Torino wanted to pay less than that, unsurprisingly. They apparently have sent two offers, which have both been rejected. One was for 8 million euros, which was almost like a start off a 10 test of waters type thing. And then they went back in with a second bid of 9 million euros plus bonuses. And obviously West Ham are holding out for 13 million. Both were not back, and it's thought that, you know, West Ham are happy to sell Vlasic for a figure below the clause, as Moyes doesn't fancy him, doesn't want him back in the squad. Vlasic himself doesn't want to come back. Actually, Vlasic has stated he only wants to return to Torino and not interested in joining any other club. So, you know, between a rock and a hard place. And this is the reason, these types of transfers are the reason why a director of football role is needed. Because, yes, you'll have the odd duffer, but it seems all the time, you look at people like Sebastian Haller and Felipe Anderson, the amount of money we paid for them compared to the amount of money we got back as a sell-on is, well, Haller half price, wasn't it, really? Felipe Anderson, I think they 2 or 3 million quid, wasn't it, or something like that, to Lazio. So you can see why a director football role is needed when you look at Vlasic's story immediately after talking about that. Let's talk about a few transfer rumours. Let's talk about Yuri Alberto, the Corinthians striker. Apparently, West Ham, according to reports, have made contact to inquire about a deal to sign the Brazilian striker. He's a Brazilian international, currently plays obviously for Corinthians, having completed a permanent move there on a free transfer from Zenit St. Petersburg in January, following a very successful loan spell. Across both periods, he's clocked up 65 appearances to date and has only joined in the new year. So, lots of games. His contract still has 4 years to run. And his performances have grabbed the attention of several other clubs, including David Moyes. And it's not the first time he's been identified as a target. We reported that we'd entered into the running to sign him from Zenit St. Petersburg before he linked up with Corinthians. Now, according to Gol Brazil, West Ham are ready to take a second bite of the cherry and have joined the race to sign him ahead of the 23-24 campaign. The West Ham gang have showed interest in striking a deal and have already got in touch with his people to gain the necessary information and discover what it would take to get him over the line. The Nike-sponsored centre forward currently earns only £13,000 a week. He's posted 11 goal contributions in 28 games across all competitions for Corinthians this season. And I mean, he's versatile, can play in several different positions, including anywhere across the front line. And so far, he's recorded the second highest number of shots throughout the whole of his squad. So, he could be a very prolific addition to anyone, really. And obviously, West Ham, we desperately need someone who can find the old back of the onion bag on a regular occurrence, as that's obviously been our major downfall this season, is the lack of clinical nature. The lack of being clinical in front of goal. That's basically what cost us many, many points this season, that's for sure. Where last year, the season before, we were playing pretty much the same type of football, but we were scoring. We were scoring the odd goals and winning 2-1s and winning 1-0s, and that didn't happen last season. And that was one of our major downfalls, I think. And a bonus, just a bonus little transfer rumour, another forward. Apparently, West Ham, according to several reports, are in pole position to sign absolutely rapid forward Sherlock Becker this summer. According to Christian Falk, the German football journalist, West Ham are leading the race to sign the striker from Union Berlin in the summer transfer window. We know Moyes is desperate for power, desperate for pace to run his front line this summer. So it's no surprise that we're in for Becker, because he is absolutely rapid. We actually tried to sign him in January, but on actual transfer deadline day, but nothing happened. And he remained at Union Berlin for the rest of the season. However, it seems Moyes is keen to get a deal wrapped up for the striker at a second attempt. And as I said, Christian Falk reckons we're leading the line. Apparently, Union Berlin are demanding 20 million euros, about 17 million quid for him, which I think represents fantastic value when you look at some of the other players we've been linked with. especially considering he's exactly what we actually lack in the final third in terms of pace and power. He's been really impressive for Union Berlin this year. He's bagged 12 goals and 10 assists in 48 games, so 22 goal contributions in 48 games. And if we got him for 17 million quid, absolute bargain. 28. So he's still got a couple of years ahead of him. He's probably just coming to. He's probably in peak at the moment. They say about 26, 28 is your peak in it. So maybe coming to the end of his peak. But I think for 17 million quid, he would be a fantastic addition to the squad. I really do. He's a Surname international as well. And I mean, Union Berlin have had a quite good season in the Bundesliga, and he's obviously contributed heavily to that. So he's a and we've noticed that. I've noticed that, we spoke about at lunchtime today about Brozier, and Moisey. He doesn't mind waiting for his man. You look back and you look at Zuma. When we was getting Zuma, we was also linked with Aged, and then a year later we get Aged. Brozier's someone that he's always wanted, and it might take another year, but maybe we're getting this summer. And obviously, he got Skamaka instead of Brozier. Same as James Ward-Prowse is someone he really likes. And obviously, we didn't get him last year. We could get him this year. So he does tend to, when he's got people he wants to sign for the club, he doesn't mind coming back 2-3 times for him. I mean, look at Lingard, innit? Hopefully, we don't have any of those rumours emerge this summer for him. And that's it, my friends. That's it. Let us know what you think in the comments. It's going to be silly season now. Loads and loads of rumours as the transfer window is just about to open properly, officially. And obviously Thursday's the old transfer, the old Premier League fixtures come out Thursday morning. So, and then we all bug off to Australia, don't we? For the pre-seasons. But anyway, take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, stay indoors with a fan on your face if it's too hot to handle. Bye-bye.